Hey guys, Coach Herback South here with Bulldogs Baseball Academy. Today we're going to go over proper pitch grips. The first grip we're going to go over is the four-seam fastball. You're going to find a horseshoe or a C on the baseball. Our fingers are going to go right across that horseshoe and our thumb is going to go directly underneath with a bit of space right in between. Okay? The key here is making sure that the thumb is underneath the baseball for an anchor. A lot of young guys want to move the thumb to the side. It's a hard habit to break, and what it does is it effectively makes the release point much more difficult to repeat. Make sure that thumb is underneath for that four-seam fastball. The next pitch, we're going to go two-seam. We're going to find our two seams, and we can go along the seams or we can go across the seams. I recommend going along the seams so you can get your thumb on a seam on the bottom, and it's similar to the four-seam grip, but we're looking for a little bit more arm side action on this pitch. The next grip is change-up. There's a few grips that we can approach this pitch with. One is a three-finger change, where we're going to have our pointer finger on the side of the baseball. Again, thumb has got to be underneath that pitch. We do not want to get it on the side. Sometimes when guys go with a circle change, they'll put the thumb on the side of the baseball. We want to keep that thumb underneath and make our circle here. There's also a Vulcan grip changeup, which is much more difficult to throw. I don't recommend it unless you're a collegiate player or professional player. I highly recommend the three-finger change or the circle change. Both are effective if they're thrown properly. The next pitch is going to be a curveball. We're going to take our four-seam fastball. We're going to rotate that baseball in our hand so we can get our middle finger along the seam and we can get our thumb on the seam. It'll be a diagonal seam here if we can see. And we want that ball buried into our hand. What makes the curveball break is good rotation, good top spin. How we get that is by having more skin on the baseball to effectively get more break. Now, next pitch is going to be a slider. What we're going to do is we're going to go along the seam here with our middle finger. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and create gyroscopic spin with this pitch. And this meaning it spins like a bullet, and it doesn't spin top spin or back spin. It's going to spin gyroscopically, and that's going to create a slide. The cutter's a similar pitch, however, we're not going to have the same tilt on that pitch, but we're going to have the same sort of side movement on that pitch. Finally, the last pitch is going to be a split finger. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get our fingers on the furthest part of the seams here, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and create tumble on that pitch by taking as much spin as we can off of this pitch, which allows it to fall off the table. When throwing the four-seam fastball, it's important to generate as much backspin as possible to create ride or life. When throwing the two-seam fastball, it's important that the ball comes off the outside of the middle finger to create arm side run. When throwing the three-finger change, it's important to throw the inner third of the baseball to create arm side run and sink. Throw the circle change in the same fashion as the three-finger change. Throw the Vulcan change just like the split finger. When throwing the curveball, throw the outside of the hand and get the middle finger up over top of the baseball. When throwing a slider or cutter, throw the outer third of the baseball to generate gyroscopic spin. Throw the split finger with the same mentality as a four-seam fastball. Remember, always practice with purpose, always play with passion.